Massachusetts has something for everyone in terms of culture, music, colonial history, national monuments, shopping, picturesque beaches, laid-back islands, and delectable seafood. Choose from a variety of tourist attractions, such as attending classical music performances by a renowned symphony orchestra or developing your tan on a beautiful beach. Massachusetts, one of the original 13 colonies, has more than its fair share of historic sites that date back to the time of the Pilgrims. But Boston's bustling Faneuil Hall marketplace also has cutting-edge clothing, so it's not all about history. While exploring these must-see locations, you'll come across a variety of landscapes, including deep forests, rolling mountains, verdant pastures, and picture-perfect villages that Norman Rockwell immortalized in his paintings. Plan your trip by viewing our video about the top attractions in Massachusetts to ensure you locate the best spots to visit. 1. Freedom Trail. The famed 2.5-mile red line known as the Freedom Trail tells its tourists the tale of bygone eras. The Freedom Trail has a lot to offer, especially to history enthusiasts, with its 16 designated sites. These locations include churches and chapels, as well as meeting places and cemeteries. A guided tour can be purchased, or you can receive a map of the railway and explore the sites on your own. Faneuil Hall, the Bunker Hill Monument, the Old State House Museum, and the Old North Church are the Freedom Trail's highlights. In order to give people a single pedestrian trail that would connect the numerous historical attractions of the city, the Freedom Trail was established in 1951 and was primarily constructed out of red brick. This trail that highlights significant American Revolutionary War events is maintained by the Freedom Trail Commission of the City of Boston. The 16 locations, some of which include Faneuil Hall, Park Street Church, and Old Corner Bookstore, are marked on the floor with the Freedom Trail plaque to make it easy to recognize them. 2. Faneuil Hall. Faneuil Hall is a well-known location connected via the Freedom Trail. It features a marketplace and meeting space. It is a part of the Boston National Historical Park and is frequently referred to as the Cradle of Liberty. It was crucial to the nation's freedom from the British during the 18th century. The Faneuil Hall was constructed in 1742 in the Georgian architectural style and is located close to both the harbor and the government center. Due to its significance in the United States War for Independence, the building has been identified as one of the most frequently visited sites. Faneuil Hall's historical significance draws sizable throngs of visitors who walk the Freedom Trail. Various political activists used it to spread the message of freedom during the 18th century. 3. Cape Cod Beaches. The long, curved peninsula of Cape Cod protrudes into the Atlantic and shields Cape Cod Bay with its northward curve. The majority of its 560 kilometers of coastline consists of expansive white sand beaches, frequently backed by seagrass dunes. In the middle of the summer, many of them are crowded, yet there is enough sand for everyone, although not always enough parking for their cars. On the less busy North Shore, along Route 6A, close to Sandwich or Brewster, look for the less crowded beaches. White beaches facing the Atlantic are particularly beautiful at Chatham and Orleans. The beaches of Cape Cod rank among Massachusetts' most picturesque tourist destinations. The 40-mile stretch of sand and dunes has remained mostly unaltered since the 1800s thanks to Cape Cod National Seashore, which protects almost the entire eastern coast of the Cape. You can stroll along its white sands, look for shorebird nests, and travel the Atlantic White Cedar Swamp Trail through its lovely cedar forests. For maps, facts, and passes, stop by the Salt Pond or Provincetown visitor centers. From the end of June to the end of August, lifeguards are on duty at beaches close to parking lots. 4. The U.S. Constitution, sometimes known as Old Ironsides, is the oldest commissioned ship still in operation and afloat in the United States Navy. The U.S. Constitution Museum, housed in Building 22, is directly across from the ship and gives the public access to comprehensive information about its past and legacy. Near the conclusion of the Freedom Trail, the U.S. Constitution, which is housed at Pier 1, Charlestown Navy Yard, is a significant historical site that provides insight into the Navy and the city's involvement in numerous wars. The U.S. Constitution is a three-masted, wooden-hulled heavy frigate that is a part of the U.S. Navy. It was built in 1797 to defend American commerce trade during the Quiet War with France and to win the First Barbary War against the Barbary pirates. 5. Bunker Hill Monument. The Battle of Bunker Hill, fought on June 17, 1775 between the British Army and the militias of Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island, is commemorated by the Bunker Hill Monument. Although the majority of the action of Bunker Hill was actually fought on Breed's Hill, the battle is named after the side's shared objective, Bunker Hill. Visitors can enter and even climb to the top of the 221-foot-tall obelisk known as Bunker Hill Monument to enjoy the breathtaking views from the observation deck. The main drawback is that there are 270 steps total and no lift or elevator. The statue of William Prescott, the commander of the American rebels, is located in front of the monument. With its extensive collection of exhibits and relics, the Bunker Hill Museum in the neighborhood provides a thorough understanding of the conflict, Charlestown's history, and the monument itself. The Bunker Hill Monument and Museum are both a component of the Freedom Trail in Boston. One of the top 10 tourist attractions in the USA is also this site. 6. Martha's Vineyard. Only 5 miles off the southern coast of Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard offers a more picture-perfect, relaxed island-like style than anywhere else in the state. The island's laid-back atmosphere is palpable nearly as soon as you get off the ferry in Woods Hole or New Bedford. 6 little communities, countless miles of beaches, lighthouses, worn-out shingle cottages, sand bluffs, kayak-friendly waterways, and abundance of ocean space are all features of the Vineyard. Working farms, the farm booths selling everything from freshly picked strawberries to fresh eggs can be found in the area's low, undulating terrain. Locals and seasonal visitors, some of whose families have been coming here for generations, mix easily in its communities, which have a true year-round life of their own. You could catch a peek of some of their cottages, as they like to call the opulent mansions constructed by well-to-do families in Boston and New York. The Flying Horses Carousel, one of the oldest merry-go-rounds, and rows of diminutive gingerbread cottages from the 19th century are still there in Oak Bluffs, which once served as a Methodist camp meeting location. There are white clapboard buildings along the streets of Edgartown, which is a little more subdued. The oldest is Vincent House, a museum today that was constructed in 1672. 7. Boston Common. Since its founding in 1634, the Boston Common has had a colorful history. Following the British Redcoats' 8-year garrison there in 1768, notable Americans like General Lafayette, John Adams, and George Washington visited to commemorate the country's independence. It served as a location for anti-slavery gatherings and Civil War recruitment in the 1860s. It is currently an enjoyable and cost-free activity in Massachusetts. America's oldest park is more than a lush retreat in a big city. It is traversed every day by busy Boston residents and innumerable tourists. It's a portion of historic terrain that the people of Boston have owned continuously since 1634. One of the most well-liked Boston attractions for unwinding and taking in nature, it was purchased as land set aside for the common use of townspeople and continues to fulfill this purpose. Nearly 400 years later, families still visit this priceless relic of Boston's 17th century for recreation. They wander, jog, skate on the frog pond, and play on the ball fields. Visitors come to stroll through the ancient historic grounds where memorials, statues, and inscriptions detail the many ways the Common has benefited the populace during its astounding over 375-year history. 8. Fenway Park. The renowned Boston Red Sox play in Fenway Park, which has gained notoriety since it opened in 1912 and serves as their home field. A visit to the famed stadium is one of the top things to do in Massachusetts for those who enjoy sports and baseball. It plays a significant role in the city of Boston and hasn't seen much change since it originally opened its doors to spectators, which further enhances its historic importance. The oldest Major League Baseball stadium in the world, Fenway Park is now practically a myth. Pesky's Pole, the 37-foot-tall green monster over left field, and its enormous seating area with a capacity of around 38,000 may be seen during a tour of the grounds. Even if you're not a big baseball fan, this Massachusetts landmark has an old-fashioned charm and imparts fascinating historical facts on its tours, making a visit well worth it. 9. Berkshires. A well-known highland area called the Berkshires is most known for the Green Mountains, which reach into Massachusetts. Because of the well-known hiking trails, waterfalls, Berkshire's residences are on the oldest and highest waterfalls in Massachusetts. Museums, orchestra concerts, and other attractions, it is a popular vacation spot all year long. It is the ideal location for engaging in athletic pursuits like hiking and cycling, as well as fully appreciating the arts by going to opera performances, dance festivals, etc. The annual triathlon, Berkshire Jewish Film Festival, Fall Foliage Festival, and others are just a few of the well-known occasions and celebrations that take place here. The Berkshires region offers the best of both worlds because it is situated in the rolling hills between two of America's best cities, New York and Boston. It will fulfill your need for the serene, beautiful countryside while also offering a treasure trove of culture and art. Every vacation here is unique thanks to the charming hotels, superb restaurants, fantastic shopping, and the extensive schedule of activities. Visit the Berkshires to learn more about the sophisticated world where small-town friendliness and hospitality have made the Berkshires a popular vacation spot year after year. 10. Acushnet Cliffs. On the western side of Martha's Vineyard in a Wampanoag reservation lie the Acushnet Cliffs of Massachusetts, also called the Gay Head Cliffs. Clay cliffs were formed by glaciers millions of years ago. Sand and a mixture of orange and red clay combine to create a magnificent rainbow hue as a result. Getting close to the Acushnet Cliffs is not difficult. You can ascend to their peak to get panoramic views of the Elizabeth Islands and the Gay Headlight by following the pathways on Cod Beach. You're encouraged to follow any regulations at the Acushnet Cliffs because they are one of the protected attractions in Massachusetts. The Wampanoag tribe that owns the property thinks that Moshup, a legendary Wampanoag founder who is claimed to have banged whales against the cliffs to feed his people, is responsible for the red clay that makes up the cliffs.